Hello everyone, my name is Joe Puyat. I am the drummer and engineer for the Cohens, particularly for the song Please Please. So I wanted to make this video for engineers, for producers, but also for non-musicians or non-engineers so that you guys can see how together as a band we came up with this song. But also I want to share my techniques and how I mixed it. So hopefully you guys will find this interesting and learn a thing or two about music production. We are now here in the Pro Tools session. What I have now is the pre-mixed version that I just made louder for the purpose of this video. So with the mastered file, we actually had to send to Abbey Road, and that's what you hear on Spotify right now. Okay, now this song was written by our lead vocalist, Paolo Lim. He said he just had like a moment of inspiration and he wrote the song in around 30 minutes, which for me is amazing because I could never do that. If you haven't heard already, the main influence of this song is Panalangin by Apo Hiking Society. From the intro most especially, we were able to pay homage to Apo Hiking as classic OPM, and then this is what we can do now with our own modern sound. Now with that approach, I wanted to look at this song as like a journey or telling a story. I wanted to take the listener back in time with this intro. Room tone or room noise to make it sound like the person is listening to this record in his room. So we had the sound effect of someone putting on the vinyl and listening to the playback. So if you notice, what I intentionally did was I made it sound old at first, and then I kind of fused it as it went into the first few hits from the horns as to something that sounded modern. So from old to new. Here we have our horn section. We have the trumpet, the sax, and the trombone. Got some harmony there. What I really wanted to add for this one, to contribute to that Manila sound, it sounds like this. You may not even hear it in the mix, but for me it just adds like a subtle top end texture that hopefully makes it sound more full and unique, but also sounding, I hate to use vintage, and then let's go to the verse.
Oh, hindi ko alam kung kailan darating
Even if I am part of this band, what I have to view like they're my client, for example. Now, when I assess a client or like a band that I'm mixing for, I need to find out what's the strength of the band. Or the strength of the band is the vocals. It has to be upfront in the mix and it has to be a little loud. That's what that means. But I also had to show the versatility of our band is we have two lead singers, or in this case, Aaron is singing backup to Lim's lead. So I'll solo the vocals.
Oh, hindi ko alam kung kailan darating
So if you could hear in Aaron's vocals, it's not just one track. It's a layer of him singing it differently, but also I had to pan it left and right to make it sound wide. Now, moving on to the drums. So I have my overheads, my toms, snare bottom and top, and the kick. And then we'll establish the rhythm section, drums and bass. There's Karl on the bass. With our rhythm section established, I thought I needed to add other textures to make it also more interesting. I played classical, like acoustic guitar. I'll just make things louder for the purpose of... Sounds like that. But the lead, which I will refer to as Milo Magic. Milo Heraldo is our lead guitarist, and I didn't really tell him what to do. He just did his magic. So if you're listening on headphones, you'll hear that they're panned opposite left and right, just to keep things interesting.
ba ang trip ng tadhana at bakit?
Next is the pre-chorus. Now the pre-chorus, in my opinion, is the catchiest part of the song. So I'll play it and then let's dissect it.
Ilang taon na akong naghihintay sa'yo. Hindi ko alam kung bakit ganito.
Okay, I also added now strings because at first the strings were in the intro at the very beginning right here. But I decided that I wanted to keep that reserved for the pre-chorus so that when the pre-chorus hits, it's like this new element that people haven't heard yet. So it sounds like this. So if you play it all together with the horns. But I also added keys now. It's like a Rhodes electric piano. Acoustic piano is playing something different too. And I even slightly distorted it so it'll pop up in the mix.
Ilang taon na akong naghihintay sa'yo.
Also, you can hear more of a different acoustic guitar, like a steel string acoustic guitar. See how it's panned wide? Nice top end texture. I did like this plucking thing just to make a nice transition from the pre-chorus to the chorus. Chorus.
Dumating ka na.
So I love this part of the horns. So the horn section was written by Lim. He actually had this down when he presented it to us. Now, from the pre-chorus to the chorus, as a producer engineer, I like using reverse effects to signal that a new part of the song is coming up or we're moving to another part of the song. So what I did here was, if you play the pre-chorus to chorus again, listen to this reverse effect. I got a guitar and some whoosh wind effect, reversed it, and just added some reverb so that it will signal to the ear, okay, whoa, something is gonna change or it's leading me somewhere. Chorus.
Pagtanto, kung nasan ka sa mundong ganito, sana'y naririnig mo ako.
And I like the second half of the chorus because I added the synths and the synthesized strings again. Again, I could have kept that in the very beginning, but I realized I have to space things out to keep things interesting. So I also added the acoustic guitar plucking here. So I'm gonna play that part. So new elements coming out or returning. Again, we got that Milo magic for that lick. Okay, I'll just talk about the vocal chain and how I treated the chorus vocals really quick. Okay, so we have Lim's main vocal right here. Okay, that's the loudest thing that you hear, okay? Then I have a double track. So I have something that's very processed with reverb. And then I have one that's very distorted. So if you add all that together. Okay, now moving on to the second verse. Things get even more bare over here actually.
kailan ba ako
Now what I like about this part is how everything gets all back together here.
Kailangan pa yatang magkawin ng
And then when things go back after this point, you'll hear more elements.
Kailangan pa
You have the organ, acoustic guitar. So now I don't have just a classical guitar playing that the chords of the verse, but I also added like a steel picked acoustic guitar with the lead again. Piano. Now this is my favorite part of the second favorite part of the song. Sorry, the second pre-chorus, because of how things just got more dynamically interesting over here and melodically interesting as well. So I'll play it back.
ilang taon na akong naghihintay sa'yo. Hindi ko alam kung bakit ganito.
Okay, the first thing that I want to talk about for here are Aaron's vocals. Even if Lim was the lead part of this song, you have to give Aaron a lot of credit for what he did in this part. The inspiration for this part, actually, while we were recording, was the song Girl by the Beatles. So I said I wanted him to do like a backup, like in the song Girl, with the t-t-t-t-t-t. Now this is my favorite part of the song, the bridge. Have the snaps, more Lim layer. Okay, before we get to the solo, again, if you going back to how I wanted to treat this song as like a journey, to take the listener on a journey, this part is supposed to be, I imagine that like the listener would be like up in the clouds or like be taken above ground into like a different space, because it sounds different with all the like the reverb that they added on Lim's vocal over here. Even that transition, it's kind of going to a different place with the piano here. I'll play the so it's these notes are signaling like, okay, we're going somewhere else. So you have the snaps. If I remember correctly, Lim wanted it to sound kind of like a barbershop quartet type of thing. Okay. Now the solo, many elements. Okay, let's work from top to bottom. So I have the whole percussion stem over here. Aside from the initial snaps, in the solo, I added the tambourine and the shaker on band opposite. But I have a glockenspiel too. I actually got this idea, the glockenspiel, playing the melody, from The Making of Redbone, Ludwig Göransson. Listen to Redbone again, Childish Gambino. You'll hear the glockenspiel over there. So it sounds like that with the drums. Again, let's play it. Claps too. Bass. So I'll play the rest of the elements first. So I have some keys, the organ, the piano. Now, another song that I was inspired, the song Excuses by the Morning Benders. So for the acoustic guitar, I layered multiple takes that were detuned or tuned low and tuned sharp. So tuned low and tuned high, and then one that's in tune. So what this does is like a natural chorus type of effect. Okay, now after the acoustic guitar part in the solo, I want to talk about the vocals. I wanted it to be big and like somewhat like a choir, okay? So I'll play them in solo. Maybe now you've noticed that there's a female. So hindi namin kabanda yan. That is my office mate Laika Maninang. Thank you so much, Laika. I was mixing and I said this part needs some falsetto high-end texture that will just brighten and smooth everything out. Thanks again, Likes. So aside from that high-end, because previously we had already recorded a baritone low, and that was done by Raj. So Raj Sanggalang from Percussion, shout out. If you listen, it will be somewhere in your right ear if you're wearing earphones. He's doing the hum. Let's play the solo again. We have to appreciate this. Okay, so going back to, I believe the strength of our band is the vocals. Listen to Lim's run over here at the very beginning of the third pre-chorus.
Ilang taon na ako,
Tapos, sinasabayan siya ni Aaron doing the same thing.
ilang taon na ako.
That's not easy to do.
Ilang taon na akong naghihintay sa'yo. Hindi ko alam kung bakit ganito. Sana naman iyong maiintindihan kung
Spot Aaron's over here. Aaron's harmony over here.
iyong maiintindihan kung
That's tough. So again, things are getting bigger and bigger with like the piano more aggressive over here. I remember Lim said he wanted it loud. Pa 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 pa. So after the pre-chorus, there's a rising action, right? Now it literally rises, it modulates a whole step to this part.
Please, dumating ka na.
Okay, sorry. Going back there, I added another reverse type of transition to lead you guys to like another part of the song. So we have this. If I'm not mistaken, it was like the horns that I stretched out, added more wind effects, reverb. Yep, there's that. Also, to signal another type of transition was the piano roll.
Please, dumating ka na. Di
this one, Lim, again, he wrote the horn part. He added this new melody to it. Listen to the horns here. And then kind of like a false ending. I did not extend that. That's them actually singing this long. And then my drums come in to signal the end. My fill here with the toms. My favorite drummer is John Bonham, so I said I always wanted to do like this triplet type of fill in a song, so I got to do it here. And also, the vocals, now for the first time, will be singing with the melody of the horns and the lead. Again, another transition over here. So that was the vocals that this vocal over here, I reversed that and then added the usual reverb type effect thing again. Actually, that last note, I remember it was Milo that came up with this last high note. That one. And then I think I asked the rest of them to just finish off singing like that. So now here in the ending, I kind of put them back in that space. Like I wanted to put the listener back in that space. So from the same start, same kind of end. And then fade out. That was it. Thank you for watching. If you watched the whole thing, I hope you were able to learn something new about us as a band and how we make our songs, but also I hope you were able to gain an appreciation for how music is made and how music is recorded and mixed, and I hope you'll be able to appreciate the hard work we put in to make music for you guys. Thank you.